Okay, welcome. So let's kick this off officially. Today's Monday, August 18th, slightly past 2 p.m. Eastern Standard, and we're going to start with USDTD. So, as I've been saying every single week, every week before that, our draw on the monthly is still going to be 3.3. We have a monthly open at 3.3, and right now we have a bearish monthly candle. What does this mean? This means we're still primed for market pumps, right? Big pumps are coming. Monthly and above, weekly, monthly and above, bearish. Everything underneath, slightly bullish, right? We just created a daily order block we're consolidating under. If we close any daily under 4.35, this blue line, if you close any weekly under 4.35, then we're going to see a continuation. I drew this orange line last week. Last week. Pathing has been following as expected. We wicked into here. I took some shorts. I added to a short hedge. Now it's in profit. Great. And honestly, this last level we wicked into, this inversion at 4.35. The key here is that we need to consolidate, right? We need to see consolidation. We either need to slowly drift down more, like on prices, right? Slowly drift down more, or stay steady, right? Either of those cases is insanely bullish, guys. Insanely, okay? Everyone thinks right now is the time to be bearish, but no, this is the pullback. This is a monthly candle extension that is still incredibly bearish, right? And we have an open monthly all the way at 3.4. So we're probably not going to see this extension until next month, right? It might happen when rates get cut, right? A lot of people are pricing in rates getting cut. That might be what is a catalyst that so-and-so calls the determining factor for actually moving prices up in an incredibly strong, impulsive way. But I'm going to say this much. Again, the only way we stay bullish is if we consolidate. If we happen to make daily closures above 4.3, anywhere above 4.3 to 4.4, and I'll mark this in right here. This is kind of our danger zone, I'd almost say. Anything above this on a daily close means that we're going to be flipping it, and we're actually going to go for the high, right? We're going to go for the high at 4.7. And that's only if we happen to consolidate lower, right? If we consolidate these levels, great. I want to see maybe a slight bit more of a wick here, 4.4, and then a reconsolidation back down, right? But effectively, this leg of the path is still going to happen, right? It's a matter of time for that one, but I do want to see something going on here, right? I want to see a little bit more consolidation in the next few days. What I'm seeing right now in the weekly here, this weekly candle is green, right? Meaning we are bearish on this week. But again, if we take the low first and close under it, we've already invalidated this structure on the weekly. The next open liquidity is going to be all the way down at the 3.6. So this weekly close, even if we close exactly where we are now, is insanely bullish. Absolutely insanely bullish, right? So that's kind of my hypothesis here. I think we're basically in a point where we want to try and accumulate as much as possible without trying to get wrecked this week. Basically between now and Wednesday, like mid-week, you want to try and accumulate as much as possible because we're going to see a blow off the top moment probably within the next month, right? That's something that is an incredibly bullish impulse candle that will push really high, really fast, and you want to be able to be positioned in longs when that happens, right? And then you want to be able to TP them and then switch to shorts, right? That's my plan. I'll call it out when I start adding to shorts. I have a few ones I'm watching, but for now, let's start with Bitcoin, right? Same thing here as everything else. This range is very weird, right? This weekly is the same thing. I'd almost expect this weekly range to hold and then flip this poi one more time possibly going up to 120 for another impulse wick to wick out every single short and then close underneath 120 on the weekly, possibly next month, right? Sometime next month, we'll see the high, we'll see the all-time high, but the monthly close will actually close this below. So that's one probability here. I'm incredibly bearish on Bitcoin. We are going to probably, if we haven't topped out here, the next push up, I'm going to start adding into low leverage shorts, right? Basically like with like a very, very wide stop. I probably will do like 140 or 130, and I'll just basically keep adding until we have weekly closures back below 118. But I'm still very, very bearish on Bitcoin here. I think what's going to end up happening is one of two things, really. We either reconsolidate and then flip 120 and then end up rejecting it, right? Something like this. Or we flip 120 but then reconsolidate bullish for an impulse wick and then close the week underneath 118 again, right? But in both cases, the short term, like in September, we're going to see some sort of push, right? Whether it's a push to just 120 or a push to 130, we're going to see that push. And then that push will be the time to look to TP most of your, if you're long on Bitcoin, TP most of your long, and then start looking for shorts because this structure here needs a retest underneath 100. We need to get to underneath 100 if we want to continue our bullish structure here and make another very strong move to another range high. I don't see us going past 140 or 150 basically in this next cycle when we do this next impulse on the monthly. But I could be wrong, right? I'm going to actually end up shorting, but again, risk manage it when we see that impulse. So I'll call that out when I go short, but still not shorting it just quite yet. So ETH, same thing as well. We did take these equal highs. I think we have one more. Oh, no, we took that one as well, yes. So we have one more relative equal right there at 4, and I'll clean this up right here. 48.10, right? So I'd expect the same thing to happen here, where this daily then flips and becomes the SMR for this range. So effectively something where we have maybe a very slight move down, wick into this order block. The daily here honestly could go all the way down to 390 before the 3900 before we start to see some sort of rejection or bounce, right? So same thing with this, right? We want to see a little bit more consolidation and then a take of the high, right? And then when that high is taken, that'll be when we look to short because every single liquidity level would have been taken on the ERL side, and the next target would be basically all the way down to 36. So that would be roughly the range here on ETH, right? So that's my pathing for ETH. I want to see currently the next this week, right? I want to see the same consolidation I've been telling you guys. We want to have consolidation downward or flat. Load up those longs because we're going to be pumping, hardcore pumping, probably into the monthly open, and then TP those longs, switch to shorts, probably in September. TP though, and then start adding into shorts mid to early to mid September, and then hold those shorts to range lows, right? So simple, easy, nothing crazy there. Awesome. So you know what? That's already. I'm gonna leave this open now. You guys, I'm sure, are tracking coins. I have a little time. Why don't you guys post some coins you want me to take a look at, and I will go through them. And I'll do that at them in order of request, so we can give you guys the most time to go through all your coins, because I am tracking a few myself, but definitely want to see what you guys are looking at. So Sui, great, excellent. I'm already seeing a bunch of requests right now. Sui here, super bearish. I should have taken, you know what's hilarious is you could see right now, I'm not messing with you guys. I literally sent an alert right here, and I wanted an hourly close right at that level, but we never actually closed right there. We rejected it. So this is kind of funny because now this is confirmed bearish structure from this range. We have we're at least going back down to 3.0, right? 3.0 on the short for here. So honestly, if you want to scale into shorts, this is probably a decent price. But the problem with this though is that, as I said, the daily here could push up one more time. So this weekly and the daily here could push up one more time, and we could take like the flat here. So I'm going to just redraw this very slightly, because depending on whether or not we can close this week under 3.5, which is basically these two, this range high, we're flipping it right now in the daily. The weekly is still valid short, but the daily is not. I would say we either do one of two things. We either close under the week and then we do take the 3.0, or this weekly then consolidates and we take the high first and then go back down to 2.9, right? And I'll clean this up a little bit here. I'm going to just actually I'll use a path as well. So it's 1 and then 2, reject back to range low. And then from there, I don't care what happens. So roughly something like this is what I want to see on SUI. And then the last but not least probability here would be if we close the week above the 3.7 and reconsolidate here, it would actually end up being, no, I'm sorry. It would be if we close under 3.5, if we end up consolidating here, it would take this low first, and then we would reconsolidate above 3.8 to flip it, and then take the highs that way instead. But in this case, really, this range here is very balanced. As you can see on the daily, we're basically smack dab between the high and the low, right? If you notice, we're like still, this is the balance right here. It's at 3.8. We're only just a tiny bit in discount right now, tiny bit in discount. So I wouldn't trade SUI because it's not really in a good spot to trade it short or long. So I would wait on this one. It's great this would have been a great short if I took the hourly on it, but I couldn't. But until then, I will wait for 3.0 if I want to go long on it. Otherwise, there are better structures out there. Personally, I'd rather take for trades, right? So Doge, let's do some Doge. I know that was also a pretty good request you guys had. So Doge here actually is at a really good spot. Really, really, really good spot. Yes. Simply put, we are flipping this range high as we speak right now. So this is the pullback. It doesn't necessarily need to go any lower. But the problem is that this weekly could still extend all the way down to 17 cents as a wick before closing above 22. So the only way to trade this one would be if you had a very, very wide stop loss. But the good news about this is that there's literally like no, and honestly, this is something I've been watching to try and flip. This is a quarterly gap right now. We were basically flipping. So with Doge, I might just start this soon, but I basically want to do like a periodic add, probably this week actually. This week is a great time to start adding into these longs. Periodic add on Doge, and then once we get daily and weekly closes above 23 and 24, I would expect this to happen, right? Effectively the parabolic move, right, where we're flipping each level and then going straight to all-time highs again. So same thing here. I'd want to keep a wide range on the stop, and then add basically all the way down to like 17 cents, right? So I might actually call this out and start adding into it, because this is a pretty easy trade, to be honest, because on the quarterly, on the monthly, on the weekly, this one is going to go for all-time highs, period, end of sentence, no and ifs or buts. Stupid bullish on Doge. I'm stupid bullish on Doge. We're going to see an extension because it's a quarterly gap that we're flipping, right? Easily $1, $2, if not more on the weekly, right? Easily, guys. So this is generational wealth gains basically around the corner right now. So that'll be Doge. If anything, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set an alert right now. I'll do a daily under the weekly gap, which we're in right now. So somewhere around, I'll do right below this order block here, 23 cents. So we do a daily close. Any daily close under 23 cents, I'm going to look to add, and I'll call it out on the ads, right? Less than Doge, oops, I'm just typing wrong. Doge long ad. We're in entry right now. Daily could go down to 17, but we're in entry right now. So I'm going to probably just start adding into this daily starting tomorrow, starting today or tomorrow, and then keep it with a very wide stop, and then just add every single day. And then that's it. Easy peasy trade. The easiest trade you'll probably ever take. Cool. What else you got? Maker, MKR. Let's try that one. So yeah, MKR as the daily has here, I'm not interested in on this range. This is a very good range, but the interesting thing here is that we do have one open IRL, I think on the daily, right at 27, 1287, right? So I basically don't care what's going to happen until we go down to 1287. Then I'll long. If anything, I'll put a little alert here on the yellow. This should be a break, so I want to see an hourly close or maybe a 2-hour. I'll do a 2-hour close. I'll do this one actually, 1500. So I want to see 2-hour close under 1500. It could be 1 hour, but I'm just lazy. Long entries, right? Yeah, great. So maker almost there. Almost there. This is the pullback. It's just starting now. I would expect it to range here. If it ranges and then bounces a little bit, it might bounce a little bit, but this is not going to go anywhere until we take 1200. Cool. Awesome. Let's see what else we got going. What's cooking? Link. Okay, let's do Link. Interesting. So I was initially slightly bearish on Link where we are now, but we're still, we could go a little higher. Yeah, we could go a little higher. I was slightly bearish on Link just from this range, but this is actually not too bad. Link tends to be an early mover anyway, so I'm going to clean this up. I sort of wanted to see $14, but now my range is still going to be 14. Yeah, 15. So weekly hasn't completed the cycle yet, so I'd expect this pullback to possibly take the high of 28, but a weekly close would mean that the next range we want to look for is the break of 28, right? Weekly close, break of 28, reconsolidate under 27, flip 26 if we're bearish, and then possibly go for a retest. If not, what we want to see is we want to see the reconsolidation and break on the monthly here of this range, which we are already in. So right here, I think this is the other one that I was watching. So that's still right between $18. So let me put this in as well, and I'll go back to the weekly. We broke above it, right? We invalidated, broke above it. Now we want to see 20. So really the next thing I want to see here is if we market structure break 27, we go something like this, right? Go up 27, possible rejection at 28 to 30, possible, and then back down to 18 or 14. if we're unable to not break 32. If we can break 32, then I'm just going to remeasure the range. Honestly, I love Link, but also the RR for a futures play here is a little tricky. I still want to see some sort of pullback. I want to see another higher low. We have one higher low here, right? So on Link, we need to have, and this is sort of a higher low, but this is not really a wick. The liquidity here is too thin. I need to see something more dramatic than that. So I would like to see 14, like 16 broken, but still, I'm not going to depend on that. It could just be 18, right? Honestly, when we do get a pullback, it should just be only 18. That would be fine too. I do want to see under 20, under 23. Okay, cool. Let's keep going. LDO. So I had LDO mapped to go a little bit lower here. This is still valid. We invalidated this daily right now, this daily IRL. Want to switch back to internal. So the next internal is 1.12. So if you want to set your targets for limits, it's like 1.11. I would expect this to be a bullish consolidation as well in the weekly, slightly more with 1 or 2 weeks left. 1 or 2 weeks left on this consolidation. This one actually could go much lower, which is why I don't want to take a long quite yet, because this monthly could be switching red and then taking the low first, because there is an open monthly down or a weekly down here, right? Untapped liquidity right down there on the weekly. So I would say same thing here. We want to see bullish consolidation. Next reaction would be 1.2 roughly. But I expect it to continue going down from here. Not to do too much. Not to do too much yet. I want to see, 1.12. Cool. And then from there, let's see, I'm going to draw this up a little bit more. Let's do something like this. Possibly go up to there, possibly continue down, and then something from there. I want to see the range build under 1.22. So nothing yet on LDO. It's a weird spot. I wouldn't do anything quite yet. On the lower time frames, slightly bullish, but on the higher time frames, very bearish still. Has a lot more room down from this range. ADA. ADA hit bearish bias. Hit bearish bias from this range, guys. Right here. Look at that. Oof. I drew this up last week. Early this week, last week. Basically the same thing. If we get a daily close, look at that. We are under right now 92 cents, which we're under as we speak. Oh, this is a great short, actually. Great short. Can probably do a tight invalidation too. At 92 or at 1. 98. Sorry, 98 would be good. I want to see 66 cents. This needs a higher low, right? This is not a wick. That's not a higher low on the structure, guys. So market makers are trying to fake you out. They make you look at this. This is not an SMR because we have one higher low. This was not a wick. This was not a daily wick. This was an order block. So we have open liquidity on the downside. I want to see 68 cents. I want to see 68 cents on ADA before I become interested in longs again. 66 to 68. That would be absolutely perfect. For now, I retain a bearish bias against it to 67 cents. It's going to be a slow mover. We hit bearish OTEs from this range. We have 3 drives up. This is everything here is screaming bearish to me. Screaming bearish. So this is going to be a nice, this would be a good short actually. Price from current range to target would be a 30% move. So excellent there. I'll see if I can load up on that today too. If we get a daily close, basically right under 92, I'll do this right here, which is flipping literally as we speak. So I'll do a daily close here. Oops. Great. So 92.47. We close under that and then start shorting. Bring it down to 64 cents. Excellent. Sol, keep going down the list. Let's keep going down the list. Sol. Yes, Sol. So here's the weird thing with Sol. It is still in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 impulse from its range low, right? We do have this higher low. And really, this one, in terms of a measured move, we have two daily open liquidity levels. We have one that's right here at 172, and then we have another one at 155. So really, one of these two will play out, right? Either we sweep down to 172, break it, and then go bullish, or we sweep all the way down to 152 and then break it and go bullish. But until then, not touching Sol, because it is about to hit quarterly, monthly, weekly bearish OTEs. These are high time frame bearish levels I intend to short heavy on when Sol breaks 140. Still tracking that. I've been tracking this since April, guys. I've been tracking this since April, and we are almost there for this short. This is going to be a quarterly short that I'm going to bring back down to $30, $50, right, on the monthly and the quarterly. So we are unable to break above 250 on the monthly, the weekly. This is going to confirm the bearish AMD, and Sol is going to go all the way back down to $50. So that is going to be a great short. I'm really excited for this one. We are almost there. So for now, I'm just letting it do its thing. I don't care. It could do it. Its range is a little wide here. It can go 173 or 155, right? If you're long bias on this. But I'm going to be very careful and say, if you're long bias on this, you better TP above 220, because that's your exit right there, right? That's your high time frame exit. 220. If you're bullish on Sol and you like Sol, then just take a trim, just take a trim and hold some, right? Hold a little bag. If you really think Sol's going to go to 1 million, then hold a bag, and I'll short it, and then come back next year and we'll see who's right. Perfect. Let's continue. Casper. So Casper, there's another one request from you guys. This is one that I've been tracking for probably a while now, since April, May. It has a monthly open all the way up at 4. Market makers never like to leave liquidity on the table, guys. They never do. They never do. And it's always present, right? What I like about this chart is that this is a classic retail triple double top. Everyone sees this and says, "Oh, this is so bearish. Look at the rejections there," right? But I see this and I say, well, these are relative equal highs with liquidity of people's stop losses right here, right? Everyone's putting their stop loss there on the monthly graph, on the monthly chart and the weekly chart. The moment we flip this level and we hold above it, we consolidated a little bit. We did the weekly close, but we didn't get monthly. We didn't get monthly closures. If we get a monthly close back above 0.12, then these are going to be shredded through like nobody's business. And this is going to be one of those coins that moves 300 to 400% in a single candle. There's a few coins like this. There's not many, but there's a few that when we do see the impulse that will happen, right, on the monthly, right, the next monthly, probably in September or something, Some of the coins are going to go up, 5, 10%. Sure. Other coins might go up 20. This coin is probably going to go up 300, right? So I'm personally maxing the allocation out. I literally have, I think, almost half the actual max allocation contract limit that my exchange even allows me to take. I'm going to basically completely, absolutely max my allocation on this because of the conviction on this chart, right? So I intend to do that probably this week. So again, I will keep letting you guys know I'm down a little bit on it. I'm a swing trader, I'm a position trader. I trade on conviction, I trade on the high time frame, so I don't mind going a little bit red. But again, I'm gonna go max on this probably in the next week. So still no changes there. Melania, let's check Melania real quick. And then we'll keep continuing. I think we already almost confirmed the bottom right now on Melania because we're flipping this weekly order block. This is actually incredibly bullish as well. We have, oh yeah, this is already flipping right now. I don't know why I'm not in this. This daily's already flipping. This is a daily higher low right now. This is incredibly bullish. We take this is the next open IRL right at 29 cents, right? So I'd expect this to happen, something like that, right? Where we basically wick up, we invalidated this daily bullet, bearish on that. The next open on the daily is up at 29, so it'd basically be something like this. Very quick impulse wick all the way up to 29 cents, if not more, right? Because this one was invalidated too, so honestly, it could go more than this. And you could see the consolidation in this chart, right? The pure consolidation on this chart is absolutely stunning. Let alone it's a meme coin, but if you zoom out, you can get a feeling for where we are in perspective. And if this confirms the all-time low, then the range on this is going to be absolutely insane, right? And again, market makers never like to leave liquidity on the table, ever. And it's another reason why, you might say, why did Ohm crash? Or why did, you name the coin, right? Luna, why did Luna crash? Well, there was liquidity on the chart at the lows. It's that simple, right? Liquidity on the chart at the lows. Coins like these can only go down so much, right? It can only go down so much. Who is shorting this? Who's shorting this at the bottom, right? That's not what we're here to do. We're here to long at the bottom and short at the top, right? So perfect. I'll look for entries on this one as well. I think this one is going to be a banger. So I'll put in a level on closure. I'll do like 1 day closure anywhere under 21 cents is going to be a deal. So I'll do that. Yep, save. Cool. Perfect. I'm going to start buying this too. I'll start buying into this. I'll see how fast I can go. I'm going a little bit slower on some coins, but XCH, another good one. A little bit more room left, a tiny bit more room left. There's one equal low down here I want to see taken at 9.15. I have a limit order right here, a very heavy, very, very heavy limit order. I also have a limit order all the way down at this low because this is a yearly SMR down here. I would not expect this level to be taken. This is the all-time low. It's pretty much been confirmed because we had weekly closures back in range from before, right? So this is also a coin that's basically at its low. I intend to have limits and scale in. Even if we sweep down here or we sweep down here, it's still going to bounce like nobody's business because the moment we clear this 12 and then close above, this is also going to go all the way up on the daily to like 15 to 28 on the high time frames, and then go from there. So let's go through the next one. I did Sol already. Yep, cool. So I know there's another request for Sol right there. Great. So Ondo here, also pretty nice. It's one of those coins that's kind of in premium. It's in premium. I'll be honest, guys. See this purple line? This is the balance, right? Everything above here is premium. Everything below here is discount. Look at all this liquidity on the downside. There is a lot down there. So for this one, I want to see maybe a little bit more consolidation before we start to see Ondo move again. It's going to be a slow mover. But for here, the next move up, if we take another move up, could be something like this, right? If we do take the high first, if we do, then I would still expect this to happen. So I'm going to draw out both probabilities from here, and then take this range as well and see what happens first, right? This is a little weird because, again, the daily here also bounced. If I were to draw the range high, range low, and then switch this, you notice that we are just a hair in discount right now, just a hair. So if this range holds, then the same thing would apply where we would actually want to TP around 1.3, right? So we'd actually have our range high at 1.3, and we'd be taking the short into our long bias levels, right? So right now, not touching Ondo, it's kind of stuck in a range in between two balances here. I'll short it if it takes the high first, and I'll long it if it takes the low first on orange or yellow, respectively. So that's pretty easy. Yeah, cool. Pendle. Let's keep going through. Pendle. Let's keep going through the list. Great. So this one, I mean, Pendle's like one of those weird ones, right? Where we basically are in this very high time frame. One would say symmetrical triangle, right? And we're sort of at the range high right now, and the only way to validate that we are going to clear it would be if we break this range to the high and then reconsolidate above 5.8 very slowly, right? Very slowly. I would say if it's in profits, hit green line about 4.87. 4.87. Yeah, I would say your level to look for would be 4.9 actually. Yeah, 4.9 would be your level to look to TP. Yes. It's probably in a flip state at 4.9. I want to see the break. The 4 hour here is going to have one more switch, it looks like. So we're going to do a 4 hour break of $5. That should be where you TP and look to move your SL to break even to de-risk, because if we happen to close above 4.95 on the 4 hour, then we're going to take the highs again. So just be careful about that. This is actually looks like a manipulation wick from here. So I would expect it to continue. This actually has made. These are pretty strong wicks actually. Now that I'm looking at them, this one did not take. Did that one take the low? Oh yeah, that's a higher low. That's a strong one right there. We didn't. Oh, we barely dipped into that daily. We flipped the order block though. So this is like a little iffy. I would want to see something like this pan out. So hopefully that is helpful. And yes, Vishal, you guys asked about Sol. I already did Sol. I'll just refresh you guys' memory that I am neutral with Sol, but I'm slightly high time frame bearish if we push up. Excuse me, if we push up higher again. Oh, A0, an old friend of mine. A coin that cannot go lower. When you expect it to go lower and you think it will never go lower, it goes a little lower. So this, along with many other coins, as I said, this is a kind of consolidation that I love to see on the daily. Look at this. This is very, very, very tight daily consolidation. No changes, guys. It's in my red zone now. This zone is basically what I wanted to see. Some sort of reversal happen. We swept the low again. Oh my goodness. It wants to keep sweeping these lows on the daily. I'm going to shift this over just a tad. Hopefully that'll work, right? A0 had a lot of FUD, a lot of doubt, a lot of everything, right? Everyone can say it had a lot of everything. Hit with it. But I am not playing these on fundamentals. I am playing these on technicals. Technicals here, we have a daily that's open. Technicals here, we have a weekly that's open, all the way up here, right? Again, market makers do not like leaving liquidity on the table, period. End of sentence. Even when things dumped, they still pump first, and vice versa, right? Even when things pump, they would still dump first, right? What are we doing right now? We're dumping first, right? We're dumping first. This is a weekly dump, right? Look at this. This is an incredibly strong consolidation, and I'll even pull up the spot chart. This spot chart actually deviated down first, right, from the range low. These are the kind, I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. Every single time we have a range low break like this monthly, we have a range low break first, meaning we took, second, really. We took the high and then broke the range low. That means the next time we start to consolidate on the same time frame, we will start to seek the internal liquidities, right? Look at that, what happened right here on the monthly. That was an exit liquidity candle on the monthly to fill this gap, right? Look, we have a gap here at 32 cents. Has it been filled? No, right? History repeats itself. Same thing will happen again with A0. We will have a monthly impulse wick to fill all of those gaps, probably over the course of the next few weeks, months, whatever. I don't care. I'm in it. I'm still holding it. There's no changes. I have patience. I have time for a gain that's going to be a 1,600% gain. I'll wait. I'll wait, guys. I'll wait. I don't know about you, but I have patience. I'll wait for 1,600% gains. Cool. Let's go for Arrow. Let's look at Arrow. Awesome. Arrow I already had drawn up. Great. I love it when I do this. I already have all the analysis you guys already expected and waited for, ready to go. Yeah, a bearish here, right? Bearish here on this range. I want to see this pullback. This yellow line is our daily flip. The same thing is happening with ADA, right? This is the same thing, right? If I were to draw this, we actually have, well, we do have a lot of liquidity to the high, and that is a range bound. So actually, I'm going to rephrase. This is the same thing happening with many coins. We either go for the impulse and take the high first based on the weekly closure, right? And then swoop down, or we consolidate bearish and then swoop up, right? So this one's weird. I guess I wouldn't really, I wouldn't take this one where it is at all. I would wait till we get to one of the extremes here, and then go from there. So this is, we either go up or down here, guys, right? Up or down. Easy. Arrow, $2. I would say yes, $2 next month if this weekly can close above this range, right? We are flipping this. I do admit we are flipping this. So it is slightly bullish. If you want to take a tight stop on it, great. But I don't. I'd want to see a wick here. I don't see a wick. I don't see any wicks down here. I'd want to see like maybe a little bit more push down like that, right? Something like orange would be more like this, right? Where we consolidate, sweep lows a little bit more, and then bounce hard right after that. So yeah, hopefully that helps. What else? So sell my kid house and car, short maker if you want, sure. LDO, I did LDO already. AVAX, let's do AVAX real quick. AVAX is going short bias as well. It's about to be. This is going to be its last push up for this range, I think. It's going to go to 30 if we break and hold. It's actually been making higher lows on the daily and flipping this range. So the same thing here is we either flip this range and then impulse up, and then take the lows, right? That's what I want to see. Ideally, I want to see the impulse up first on AVAX. This would be a clean short. This impulse up could go a little higher, but I'm not going to be prescriptive with this. But this range actually, that's an SMR to the downside. So, but that is an equal high actually right here. Yes. So that SMR lines up with an equal high. This is probably going to be ran through. Yeah, right there. I'll put it in teal, right? 27.4. That equal high is going to be ran through. That's currently a liquidity magnet. If we take that high, then we're going to go to 30, and that will be our exit, or short, back down to range, right? Range balance under 20. So I'm personally not trading AVAX. It's a little ugly here, a lot going on. This range is a little too wide, but yeah, if you want to do that, go for it. Maker already in scalp short trimmed position. What is your next TP in the coming hours? Maker short. Oh, I don't. Yeah, I mean, if you're already in a maker short, I'll pull that up real quick. Roughly. I mean, I would just trail your. Where is it? 15. We're at 1800. Oh, it's pretty good. Yeah. I would TP like 1700 basically now, and then trail your stop up, because this is also this could be the wick of the higher low, and we could still consolidate this on the weekly before we could go basically all the way up to 2K again before we sweep the lows. That's the problem with some of these ranges, right, guys? Like, look at that. That range high brings us to 2.3. So, and if we're talking OTEs from this one, right? Look at that, 2.2. I'm thinking the real short would be like above 2.2, right? So I'll put it in teal right there. This would be, if we see that would be an excellent short. Otherwise, I would TP your shorts here, trail your SLs. I don't care what it does in this range here. This range is going to do absolutely nothing, right? Absolutely nothing, just total chaos. This is what matters down here. The break of the weekly at 1500. This is what matters. Everything here doesn't matter what happens, because this is going to be the SMR retest on the weekly, and Maker will then take the weekly back up to 3K, and if it can break 3K and then mount it, then it's going to go to all-time highs again. But it needs to break 1500 first. It's not going to do that until it breaks 1500 first, right? So I want to see this range more. I want to see 1500. I have an alert on 1500, so hopefully that helps. Uni. Okay, I'll see how fast I can go through some of these. I only have a couple more minutes. Uni. Let's see. I barely did uni. Geez, I have nothing on this at all. Nothing on this at all. What do we have? Monthly close. Nothing. Absolutely nothing on the monthly. There's a little bit of something up here. Take the low. What's this range look like? Yeah, same thing. Daily. Yeah, so same thing here. I mean, I think the entire market's basically doing the exact same thing. It's looking for a liquidity sweep, a wick to the high, right? So we go range, sweep the high, and then back low, right? That's sort of what I want to see still on uni. This range is going to be a sweep. It's going to be a liquidity sweep. We're probably going to go to range high, somewhere around $17. So between here's yellow, right? Between yellow is your short watch, right? And under blue is your long watch from this range. Under blue, yeah, basically under blue. But the thing with this is that we either make our first dip in and then impulse, or we go lower. The range here is a little too wide to long it. because your stop is going to need to be like all the way down here. Really, the only safe stop on this range is like right here. $6.05, guys. That's just so huge wide range. I do not like this at all. Even here is not safe. It could probably range on the 4-hour if you're looking to scalp it, right? Scalp it short, take a small move down. But again, I still see this impulse move to clear out everything, right? I'm sorry, my alerts go off all the time because I have so many freaking alerts. Yeah, I want to see this. I want to see a little bit more consolidation, tiny bit more, tiny bit more, and then absolute mega impulse God candle. This is the mega impulse God candle I'm talking about, guys. It's coming. And then that's going to be our exit for longs, probably sometime in the fall, right? Next month or two. And then we start looking at shorts, right? And that's it right there. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Okay, graphane. Let's see how fast I can do these. Graphane here. Same thing. I have this drawn up already. This is already starting a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 impulse. It literally just started because we had an internal market structure break already. We had 1, so now we're building the 2. The 2 close. I want to see just a teeny bit more consolidation. Again, same thing. I'm going to drift this over just a tad, right? This is going to be the same thing that happens. We do the tiny bit of consolidation into my long limits, which I already posted for you guys. If you are not paying attention, that's on you. And this will be a 24 RR trade with the at least 100% move, right? This alone could double, triple a port. This is just one of my trades, guys, okay? So hopefully you're paying attention to that because this one's also going to move like an absolute monster from this range, absolute monster. Because we are basically at weekly range lows. We're about to flip this weekly block, and we have internal liquidity on the 8 cents on the weekly. So this extension, the weekly, this is one of those other coins, guys, I'm talking about, that's going to have at minimum 100% move, right? You're going to see the impulse move of like a few coins go maybe like 5 to 20, but there are others going to do like 100 to 300 to 1,000, right? Those are the ones we want to really go heavy in, and this is one of them. So hopefully you guys are paying attention. Awesome. So let's see how quickly we can go from the next couple. I literally am already over time, but I'll see how fast I can go. So ZK, I don't have anything on this one actually. I'm going to pull up a Binance chart. I'm going to do a really quick analysis on this. This one's a weekly open right here. Same thing here. We're bias close inversion from that flip on the weekly. So same thing. We do a very subtle weekly break right below 5 cents, and then boom, there it is. Okay, easy peasy, done. ZK is done for you right there. 7 to 12. There's your move. Okay, what's next? You could put your stop in right. If you're curious to stop, your stop at 047. 047 already on the chart. You take a screenshot if you want. I'll pull up the next one. WLD. I'll see how fast I can go through these as well. Same thing here. Oh, look, I drew this up 2 weeks ago, guys. 2 weeks ago. I already have these limits. Same thing, guys. Same thing. Just a little bit lower, just a tiny bit lower, and then we are popping off. This is going to be another 115% move. This is going to be a 12-hour trade, 115% move. Ask any other analyst to give you the numbers that I give you. They will not. I did not do ski yet. Everyone, no one does it. No one does it. Let's be honest, guys. Ski, I had ski close as well, but the problem is that with ski on the weekly, it just doesn't. It actually. Oh, the same thing's gonna happen. Yeah, same thing actually. A little bullish here. Yeah, a little bullish here. We're flipping this weekly. Weekly flip. What's the next open? Somewhere up here. Oh yeah, this is looking good. It's looking good. Already have a higher low. Except one. What do we got here? We got one open flat on the daily right there, and then the range low right here. So honestly, this is one of those weird ones where we either bounce from here on the weekly, depending on the weekly close, or we go all the way down to 3 and bounce. So the range is a little bit wider. You'd have to put your stop really low, right? Somewhere down here on a range, or anchor your risk from there. Still a little bullish here, but kind of wide range. Awesome. So that is it. I'm sorry, guys. I know there's still a lot of requests, but I do have to run. I will post the recording on my YouTube, and feel free to catch me there. My virtual doors are always open. You can give me a DM or hit me up anywhere, and I'll respond. I'll chat with you guys later. Have a good rest of your day, and stay green.